Okay, so this week I've been looking at some of the task families I'm working on in class of IC problem solving year two. I'm really excited to share how it went and give you a view of the resource. The task build up builds children's understanding of the kind of format of the task, looking at, in this case, how many circles in each column and each row. Children just fill in the missing number, which is worked through in the worked example. It leads into task A, obviously not problem solving, children just identifying the number of dots in each column and each row, spotting mistakes. And that means when they get to the problem solving element, which is here, they've understood the format, the layout of the task, and they can actually focus on the kind of underlying thinking here, positioning the right number of counters in each column and each row. Multiple possible answers, children finding ways. We asked children, for example, how many counters on the grid in total and how do you know? And then we unpick some of the likely misconceptions or mistakes that they have, or how they can build from their understanding. So let's say they put the right number of counters in each row, but then the columns are incorrect. So in this case, the right-hand two columns are incorrect. And we look at, don't just take all the counters off, which they might do when they realize it's wrong, but which one counter can you move to make the answer correct? Talk to the person next to you, uncovering the thinking of an expert problem solver. And then we see that one correction being made. Now that then leads into this extension of this task in this task family, where we're doing the same thing, same format, but we're now using dice that will be on the grid. So now children again are filling in the missing numbers, doing the calculation. There is then a little check task to see that they're now familiar with this new layout of the task. And I didn't get a photograph of this one, but then children are positioning dice on the grid to make the sums for the columns and the row correct. Again, lots of different ways, lots of experimentation here. And here, of course, is the problem solving. And then the examples below where they can draw on the missing dice. Then the next part of the task build-up, again, really helps children to understand and articulate this process. Looking for which square has got the missing dice. How do you know? Which sums of the columns and the rows are incorrect? By how much? Where must that missing dice be? I start with which square has a missing dice before we calculate what that missing value is. And then some children moving on to the 4x4 grids, going really deep, but always a step at a time, building progressively. And I hope this resource really helps you to do that. Little example, I've adapted this one since actually, but a little example then for the children to complete independently to really show their kind of understanding, show off their thinking. So really, really enjoyed outworking these task families. I hope they're going to be super impactful for you in the classroom. It's going to be released on the 10th of January.